Good morning, natural gas. It's Wednesday, July the 22nd, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. And for the spot August natural gas contract, we're up. We're up to $2.93 even, up 6.4 cents or 6.5 cents here, a little bit over 2.25%. And we're kicking higher on the RSI. We're getting close to the 13-period exponential moving average. Good news. Why? It's hot. And it's going to get hot in Europe. And both Europe and Asia are about to panic because of the Strait of Hormuz. Let's turn to the hourly chart. And as you can see, we're well above today's daily pivot, which came in at 287. Push through first resistance here at 290 and one tick. And we're testing second resistance at 293.70. So the RSI is pointing higher. Our third resistance level, 296.80 here on the pivot system. So let's see if we can get a move here before storage tomorrow. Expectations tomorrow, somewhere between 35, 37, maybe 40 if we're outside that, but that's bearish versus last year, bearish versus the 5-year average. In order for the report to be bullish, we've got to be below 27 BCF. So we need a bullish surprise. Let's turn to the April through October strip, and this is the injection season for next year. And as you can see, we're catching a bid up 3 cents today here to 305.30. Excuse me, up 3 cents here, 308.40. Excuse me, for that was yesterday. The RSI has turned to the upside here. We're going to test that down trend line here, which right now comes in close to about 317, 318 right now, but let's see if we can even get 315 for the strip. Let's turn to the electricity market because, yes, it is hot here where I am. I'm going to be heat index of 118 just north of Houston. And our load today, just under 90,000 megawatts. It will be another record for ERCOT. And here's the renewables. They're about 35,000 in the grid today. Why? Because when it's this hot, the wind does not blow. And so natural gas is taking up the market share, over 50% of the fuel mix right now, just over 33,000 megawatts. That will climb as we go through the day because this afternoon it will be uncomfortably hot. Let's take a look at the grid here for the United States here. We're just pulling it up here again. And we've already got some good volatility. As you can see, ERCOT here is expected to get over $237 here today. MISO, not so bad. PJM, okay. So it really is going to be ERCOT today. But early right now in New England, we've already popped over $126 there. So let's see what we do in SPP because we've already got some volatility. And so that is already pushing up towards $75. But our pain point today is definitely ERCOT, where the heat is centered. And let's take a look here for the temperature outlook for the 8 to 14 day. Again, near normal for mid-Atlantic to New England. Everywhere else is pretty much above normal temperatures. This pushes through August the 4th. And here's the heat index. Oop, we're all the way at the end here. So as you can see right now, we've got some major and extreme heat risk right now, mostly around Louisiana. As Bertha comes along, this pushes some of this heat out a little bit, pushes it and displaces it, but it continues to get warm. So there's the heat, the extreme heat pushing into the panhandle of Texas. That expands on Friday and Saturday into Sunday. Look, Monday, we've got heat all the way from Texas straight up north and all the way over into Florida. So this is starting to catch Chicago a little bit. But as we get into next week, Monday in particular, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Texas, New Mexico, Florida, up into Dakotas is extreme heat risk. And then we get almost 10 million people under extreme heat risk next Tuesday. So the market is going to catch a bid if LNG can hold. And let's take a look at the heat index map here. This is today, right now. As you can see, just around Houston, right where I'm at here, just about 118 is going to be the heat index, but Houston itself about 115. So let's push the button here and get going to the upside. And as you can see, this expands to the north for the moment. it keeps the Great Lakes, New England, and Mid-Atlantic states out until late in the period here. But these are triple digits going forward for heat indices. So the power markets are going to be burning a lot of natural gas. Let's push it all the way out, as you can see here. Then we start to see around the 5th, this heat starts to push up into the mid-Atlantic, all the way back into New England, pulls it down from the upper Midwest here. And as we move forward in the forecast here to the end, that's it for now. But it looks like the heat is centered in Texas and up through the central parts of the Midwest. Let's take a look at Europe, and this is not a good picture here because it's cool right now. France gets a bit of relief here, same thing for Germany. Then we start to see some warmer temperatures come in, especially as we get into August here. There's the warmer temperatures on the 25th. Then it cools off a little bit here, and then it just gets blisteringly hot here as we get toward the end of the month. Here it's the 29th, pushing in again well over normal temperatures here into the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and here comes the 4th. Let's take a look here all the way out to the 4th. Bam! Everything from Spain all the way back up to Denmark, all the way back into Romania at this stage. So watch out, there's going to be some really big load in Europe come the first week of August. And let's talk about the EU storage. As you can see, it's near 54% here. That's good news, but we've still got our problems. The United Kingdom in particular, 23%, Belgium, 30%, the Netherlands at 33%. So we've got some problems within the EU. Overall, it's still low for this time of year, and heat is coming. How about JKM? Well, this is the Japan-Korea marker for September contract, and it's up over 2.73% right now. As you can see, the RSI is pointing higher. We've eclipsed that March 23rd high. So now this is panic setting in for the Strait of Hormuz. And with European heat coming in, watch out. We've got to get more LNG out of the United States. Let's turn to the weather map here for Asia. And as you can see here, cooler temperatures than normal for India here, parts of southern China right now. But then there is some warmer temperatures that come in from Shanghai right here, all the way back up into Beijing. Sorry, the model is just giving us headaches again today. Don't know why it keeps doing that, but we'll move on. Let's take a look at the U.S. LNG. There is nothing loading at Ras-Laffan. We've got one vessel here at Venture Global. This is Plaquemines, and we've got that storm coming in later this afternoon. So it's going to stay at Anchorage. And let's take a look over at the Calcasieu Pass area. We've got one vessel right now loading at Calcasieu Pass. One vessel is moving out, the Isabella. That was over in Cameron. We've got one vessel at Cameron right now, nothing at Golden Pass, and we've got 3 over at Sabine Pass. That's good news there. Let's take a look. Nope, that's a crude oil tanker. So looks like everything is going to be anchored for a while. The Isabella is making a run for it right now. And let's take a look at Grand Isle Beach here. This is the offshore platforms. This is off Louisiana here. And as you can see, it's relatively calm. The storm, as you can see in the background here, the clouds and the thunderstorms are off to the south of this particular system. We'll see that in a little bit. Here's Cameron LNG, and it's running at 1.454 out of 1.56, so steady as she goes. Same thing at Freeport, actually just holding just below 1.2 BCF the last 3 days. That's good news as it continues maintenance through late August. But here's Creole Trail, and as you can see, we've still got over 350,000 MMBTUs of open capacity that feeds Sabine Pass on this particular pipeline. And here's Corpus Christi, over 300,000 as well. Let's take a look at Venture Global, and that's even worse. It's got over 500, almost 70,000 of open, 569,000 open capacity here for Calcasieu Pass. Not good. That was usually about 400,000. And here is some open capacity at Plaquemines. Why? Because the storm system may be rolling in. So watch out. LNG is going to take a bit of a dip here as this system comes across. And let's take a look at Golden Pass. Well, it's steady. That's good news. Over 300,000. We'd like to see this start to ramp up here as we get toward the end of July. And how about the U.S. nuclear fleet? Well, it's wonderful, really, because it's sitting at 1 gigawatt that's offline. Steady as she goes. The nuclear fleet is ready for summer. How about the tropics? There she is. There's Bertha. But this is the thunderstorms to the south. Grand Isle, as we showed, was right about here. So as you can see, there really isn't too much going on shore right now. Everything is offshore. And let's take a look at the path here. And as you can see, it's a east to west system, very unusual. But it's right now meandering toward New Orleans here by about 1 p.m. this afternoon. Comes into the Houston area just somewhere between Thursday afternoon and early Friday morning. Let's turn to the Saharan air layer. Yep, that's a big block of it. This storm system is pushing that dust out of this Louisiana area here. And that's good news. We could use the relief here in the Houston area right here, this little notch. But if you were watching, there is still more Saharan air layer coming off the coast right now of Africa. So let's take a look at Canada, and it's still sending smoke and particulate matter down into the United States. So this is a big problem, but it will continue because the weather conditions are simply conducive for more wildfires. And these fires are located in very hard to contain areas in the northern provinces up in the Yukon of Canada. Let's turn to the stocks here. Stocks in the oil and gas E&P sector, stocks between $2 and $10 billion had a high short float over 10%. And as you can see, everything's up. Crude's up, natural gas is up. It's a sea of green. Right behind me, CNX up 3.6%. So because these hedge funds are pretty much leveraged to short these stocks, as you can see, anytime we catch a bid on the futures, it's a sea of green. Let's again recap here for the spot August natural gas contract. We're currently trading at $2.9280, up 6.3 cents or 2.2%. Let's see what we get for storage tomorrow. Again, expectations around plus 35 to plus 38. That is bearish versus last year and the 5-year average. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.